Hello my dear friends and welcome to this video about the 7 best heroes to rank up solo in Mobile Legends. Today I'll share 7 best heroes to pick for solo rank players, including suggested build and emblems. Like always, I provide information about against which heroes the featured ones are strong picks. Let's start right away. I want to start this list with a mage hero, and Eve is definitely an interesting one. The combination of high area of effect damage, great slow effects and strong poke abilities make her one of the best heroes to pick at the moment. Her first skill has a low cooldown and is easy to hit, which makes it perfect to poke enemies. Combined with the burning wand, one poke of the skill deals a good amount of damage. Just poke the enemy a few times and he is likely to recall, so you can farm freely. Then we also have her second skill, which is a great slow ability. Positioning is key with the skill, and you want to place it so the target gets hit multiple times. The Ice Queen wand is really helpful to slow the enemy as much as possible. You always want to start with this skill before using her ultimate, so it's easier to aim. Eve's ultimate summons a big rester, which enables her to deal damage on 2 ways. She can swipe to slow the enemies and deal continuous damage, or she can tap to deal high magic damage to a single cell. During this skill, Eve is immune to CC, so use this in your advantage. Eve's slowing is really useful against enemies without escape skill or melee heroes. It's more easy to hit her skills and you can keep melee heroes at a safe distance. Therefore you can pick her against heroes like Terizla, Bane, Layla, Martis and Cyclops. Just make sure you don't miss her skills, so the enemies get slowed and you can keep a safe distance. Next we have Clint, which is a really powerful marksman, especially in late game. This hero can farm really well, which makes him strong in mid to late game. His passive, as well as his first skill, makes him clear the minions really fast. After each skill Clint casts, his next basic attack hits all enemies in a line, instead of just one target. So if you position yourself right, Clint can hit all 3 minions in one hit. His first skill deals a good amount of damage to enemies in front of him. Afterwards he uses his passive, which in total is enough to wipe out a good amount of HP of the minions. Clint also has a second skill to protect himself. Use this when an enemy approaches you. This skill shoots a net to the enemy, while Clint moves back a little. The target is then trapped for a small period, which gives you enough time to move back to safety. Then we have his ultimate, and this skill can be stacked up to 5. This skill is quite simple, since it just shoots a grenade towards the target. It deals some physical damage, but it's mainly used to activate his passive. I always try to focus on farming as much as possible in early game. Kills aren't that important, but gold definitely is. If you do this well, for around 7 to 8 minutes, Clint can deal massive damage and then it's time to start making kills and destroying turrets. Clint is perfect against enemies with only one skill to come close to him. Also heroes with short attack range are really easy targets for him. Try to pick Clint when the enemy chooses heroes like Hannibal, Gary, Veil or Cho. Just invest your time in early game while playing safe and then dominate in late game to play a lot more aggressive. A tank is also an important part for a well-balanced team composition, and therefore Glue is currently one of the best ones to pick. This strange looking tank has decent CC skills, but the coolest ability is that he can reposition the enemy when jumped on a target. Since the last update, Moonton tried to give Glue more damage, which makes him a more fun hero to play. So his skills aren't that hard. His passive makes Glue add stacks to each target he hits with his skills. Every stack on an enemy slows the target by 6% and decreases the damage on Glue by 8%, which can stack up to 5. Skill 1 deals magic damage in front and leave a Glue at the end of this skill. This thing explodes after 3 seconds to deal more magic damage and immobilize the targets. If Glue touches the goo, it explodes immediately and it resets the cooldown of his skills and recovers some HP. Skill 2 also deals magic damage in front and immobilizes the target. Whenever this skill is cast against a goo, Glue moves towards the target while dragging enemies with it. His ultimate makes Glue split into multiple small goos, gaining extra movement speed and recovering HP. enemies who got in contact of glue receive small amounts of magic damage. Glue can jump on an enemy when having attacked the target a few times and is able to reposition the target by using his skills. So those skills are quite fun and can be powerful at the right situation. Keep in mind that the small goose from his ultimate can be killed, which is especially the case against area of effect damage heroes. So be careful against such heroes, because they can also heal big time on you. Heroes without escape skills are the most easy targets. They not only are easier to catch, but they also have a harder time returning to safety when you jumped on them. Therefore, choose glue against heroes like Florin, Eve, Barretts and Popo and Koopa. Especially in late game, glue's ultimate can be really useful when a lot of turrets are gone, which makes it easier to catch an enemy. So next we have Leomord, which is a great jungler at the moment. Dealing a lot of critical hits, having decent mobility, as well as a great ultimate makes him a perfect pick for solo rankers. He isn't the fastest jungler at early game, but he becomes quite powerful later on. His ultimate makes him much stronger. Cast this skill to summon a horse, Leomord can jump on. Meanwhile, he gets extra movement speed, a lot of extra defense, his basic attack hits all units surrounding him, and he gets different skills. This improved basic attacks goes really well with his passive, which makes all his basic attacks deal critical damage when the target has less than 50% HP. Skill 1 adds a shield to Leomord and charges to deal damage to all enemies in front of him. The longer he charges, the more damage the skill deals. Skill 2 just makes Leomord jump a small distance and deal a small amount of damage. So the true power of Leomord comes from his role in team fights. When on his horse, Leomord deals a lot of damage with his basic attacks to multiple targets. Combined with the high defense and movement speed, he is the perfect hero to chase enemies. Also, his second skill is way more useful when his ultimate is active. This skill then drags enemies with him, which is quite powerful when being cast on the right moment. Try to farm as much as possible in early game and you'll have great team fights in late game. Leomord is strong against heroes with low HP, slow heroes and preferably no escape skill. A few of such examples are heroes like Mia, Rafaela, Odette and Layla. Just make sure you don't miss your horse and you'll be just fine. Another fighter that's worth mentioning in this list is Martis. Muntem first buffed Martis, but the last update he got nerfed a bit, since he was way too strong. Now he's just a fine hero to pick, but can be quite strong when used on the right way. His strength comes mainly from his passive. Every skill Martis casts adds 30% extra attack speed with 4 stacks at max. Reaching 4 stacks adds some additional physical attack. His first skill centers all enemies in front of him to deal some physical attack. His second skill consists of 2 parts, where the first part hits 3 times, which knocks the target back and adds 3 stacks of his passive. He can then cast his skill again to deal increased damage and knock the target airborne. He also receives reduced damage during this skill. Then his ultimate can also be really strong when used right. This skill deals a good amount of damage to the target and it's converted into true damage when the target has less than 50% HP. Making a kill with the skill resets the cooldown of his ultimate, which increasing his own movement speed and adding extra damage to his other skills. So timing of his skills is very important when playing this hero successfully. It takes a bit of practice to keep the 4 stacks of passive, but this is when Martis has a really high DPS. Also his ultimate should be timed right. You don't want to cast it right away, but only when the target is 50% HP at max. But you better try to finish the target with the skill, so you gain the extra buffs. This requires some practice to estimate how much damage it deals, so you know when to cast it. By doing this correctly, Martis is a perfect hero, especially against heroes with low HP. Be careful against heroes with long range, because Martis can only attack from a close distance. Choose him against heroes like Moskov, Vexana, Cho, Diggy and Sylvana. While Martis isn't as strong as a few weeks ago, he's still a fine pick if you want to rank up quickly. So next we have Hayabusa, who is currently a fine assassin to play. This hero is really dangerous in a 1 vs 1 situation and is quite mobile because of his second skill. You should play Hayabusa as a jungler, but he can also be fine at the XP lane. Hayabusa also got a small buff lately. His second skill has some longer duration, while the damage of his ultimate got increased. This buff makes him now a fine hero to pick, which we didn't saw in a long time. Hayabusa's skills aren't that hard to understand, but it takes some time to really master his skills, especially his second skill. So his passive adds a stack on an enemy when dealing damage. Each stack adds 5% damage, with a total of 4 stacks at max. His first skill throws 3 shurikens, which also return to deal damage twice and slow the enemy. He also gains extra spell vamp each time he upgrades this skill. His second skill makes Hayabusa jump forward and leave behind 4 shadows in different directions. He can then move towards each shadow once. Switching between shadows reduces the cooldown of his first skill by 1 second. His ultimate deals multiple hits to surrounding units and dealing extra damage on enemies with a mark from his passive. Hayabusa is immune to CC or damage during this time. Try to cast the skill whenever there are no other units surrounding the enemy hero. This way all hits will be cast on the hero, which really adds up. His ultimate makes him the perfect hero to find the target who is walking solo. His second skill makes it easy to come close. Then just cast skill 1 once and you finish the target by using his ultimate. You can use this hero against enemies who can't escape very well and have low HP. Squishy heroes are easy targets and you need to focus on enemies who aren't close to minions. Pick him against heroes like Veil, Bruno, Guinevere and Cyclops. Hayabusa can be so satisfying to play, especially when you are fed. Only one hero left and I have to give this honor to Faramis. This support can be so useful, especially in teamfights during late game. While he isn't the most wonderful hero to play as a mid laner, he definitely is one of the most useful ones to support your team. Faramis has a really useful ultimate, which prevents his allies from getting killed for a few seconds. This can easily change teamfights and timing the skill is from great importance. While it doesn't mean you win each team fight when Martis has his ultimate available, you can notice a significant difference in the amount of time your team comes out on top. It's also cool that you can obtain stacks, which reduces the amount of time you have to wait to resurrect. If you don't get killed that often, even the times you do will be very limited, which increases the amount of playtime during a match. Then his first skill can be used to pull an enemy towards Faramis, which is great for support. For this skill, timing is also really important to pull the enemy towards you. His second skill can deal a good amount of damage, which makes him also able to play at the mid lane. I love to play him as a support and help to attack enemies whenever possible. Faramis also gets some extra defense when his first skill is active, which makes him quite tanky. Use Faramis against heroes without blink skills. This way they have a hard time dodging his pulls as well as escaping from it. A few of such heroes are Hylas, Irrital, Eudora, Bane and Nana. If you like to support your team and think you can do a great job at it, this hero definitely helps you to rank up fast. These were the 7 heroes I selected to rank you up. Of course, I'm happy to hear which hero you use to jump towards mythic in no time. So please leave a comment with your recommendations. As always, thank you for watching and I'll be seeing you again in the next guide.